So last week I made a calorie calculator to help people lose weight and figure out how much they can eat in terms of calories um, while still hitting their weight loss goals according to the Harris-Benedict equation. And it lets you choose from a drop-down list of different food items or even add your own. But it's just a calculator. It's not a tracker. It doesn't store your data. So what I'm working on now is turning it into a web app that you can save, update, delete, all that good stuff. Track your progress, weight, body fat, BMI, calories consumed day to day. You probably will come with a chart just to get like a dashboard view at a glance. Figure out what's working for yourself. It's really something I made for myself, but other people can use it. Actually creating the calculator part was easy. It was a challenge setting up the database to store all the info because the Google documentation wasn't very clear. Replit wasn't much help either, where I built the app from on the browser. So I had to kind of figure it out, which was a headache. Took me a couple of days. But now that the Firestore database is connected to the calculator, I think I want to make it, or at least have the option of making features that are paid. So I got to connect Stripe authentication using the Stripe API for that. I was trying to do sign-ins with Google, but the Google documentation sucked for that too. Wasn't working, wasn't straightforward. Tried that for a day, and then I just realized that's more of a secondary concern. It's a nice to have where you just click and sign in with Google, but it's not a must yet. So first, let me just see if I can get this thing monetized with Stripe. So that's challenge number 2. Once that happens, I can start testing it on myself and with other people, like a beta version released to everybody I know, get feedback, figure out what pricing should be, whether I want to even charge much, whether it's going to be a subscription, a one-time fee, or should I just make it free and use ads? All those things are in question. If I can find any like fitness affiliates, whatever. And of course, I'll probably make some content around it. And the rest, I'm just kind of trying to brainstorm every day a little bit, see what more I can do with it. But it's really just to teach myself how to make an app. I think it's important to be able to build since I'm a knowledge worker, information is something that is valuable that I can offer. Information, access to information, data analysis, reports, automation, all that good stuff, systems, management. I'm kind of more technical than most, especially most marketers. So just heading in that direction. It just seems like the timing is right, the technology's there, and my experience is there. And based on the things I've learned and seen with multiple marketing channels, it just seemed appropriate, given the way that marketing is going, the way that traffic is going, the way that SEO is going. Things are changing from being, very content focused with SEO to very, tool focused, as you can see from Neil Patel and his Uber Suggest SEO tool. So I don't crank out the most content, but that's because I try to make it quality and meaningful, at least to me. and hopefully my audience, anyone who's trying to do what I'm doing, who is interested in how it all works. So because my content yield was very low, I figured I better start trying to build more. You got to do something, right? Uh, Even though I have lots of marketing experience, many years marketing and selling on different platforms, different channels, different methods, different companies, different industries, uh, I still feel better having something of my own to point to and not relying on it pointing to someone else's website, some other company's website, or results I got for some other company, even though, that's helpful on a resume. Uh, I don't think it's as tangible or as lasting. What I did 5 years ago, no matter how great the numbers are, or 10 years ago, or, you know, whatever, it's still not mine. So at least when I build these things and I talk about them, the skills, the product, the app, whatever it is, and the content is something that's mine, solely mine, and I don't have to worry tomorrow about whether they take my blogs down, which has happened, or whether the e-commerce tracking I set up has been swapped out for some new platform, which has happened, right? It's kind of difficult when the things you build um, are behind the scenes and in office and not visible for public consumption and public appreciation, right? So, yeah, I mean, I know what I've done and they know what I've done, but I think for a lot of people, seeing is believing. So this is the year I believe I'll start building and have a lot more to show. Not that I don't have things that are publicly visible. I do. Um, but I think I need to do more of that just as a professional, proving myself and warming leads up and establishing my expertise from the gate before I even open my mouth, right? I think a good product is probably the best reputation builder you can have. So um, that's the plan. That's the goal. That's what I'm working on. That's where I'm heading. And you know, I believe it's gonna be good using the skills I've learned, especially the tech and coding skills within the past, say, 5-10 years, um, to start building things that are publicly facing, not just scripts that are on my computer or I use for my job on their computer, or Salesforce automations that are somewhere behind a login on their Salesforce instance, right? Um, this is more so for public consumption, for content creation purposes, for education purposes, and just me doing things that I think are interesting and useful and will benefit me and others in the long run. Thanks.